Okay, I want to do a little bit of marketing 101. What we're going to do is we are going to focus on service businesses, like local service businesses. So you could be a chiropractor, you could be, a services company, like a home services company, doing like gutters or something. You could be a med spa, you could be a window washing business, a driveway business, whatever. I just want to break down a few things that you should know when it comes to like acquiring your customers and becoming known. So we'll just call it local business. So you have your business, and basically, like the primary thing that you're probably thinking about is how do I get customers to find me? So there's several ways in which somebody can actually encounter your business. And the first of which would be people who are looking for it. So I call this high intent traffic, but we'll call it people looking for you. Next category is going to be people who need your service but aren't looking for you. Oh. And the final will be people who don't know you exist and might need your service in the future. Kind of like three buckets, right? The one is like someone who's just very actively, specifically looking for your business. The second is somebody who's looking for the service you offer, but may not be looking for your business itself. And then the third is somebody who is probably going to need your service at some point, but yeah, they don't need it right now. Let's say you do gutters, their gutters are fine, but they might need this in the future. So we're gonna kind of color code these based on intent. We're gonna use green because green is the color of money. So lowest intent is the lightest shade of green. We're gonna go to slightly higher intent to be slightly darker, and then the highest intent is gonna be your darkest shade of green. So let's also like think about kind of the volume of people in each of these ecosystems. So this is probably pretty small. It's probably kind of a medium sized thing. This is just massive, massive bucket. So I think what a lot of people think about when they're doing advertising and they're reaching out to find clients is a lot of them tend to spend their dollars advertising to this group on the right. And to help kind of break that down, I want us to think about like channels. So let's do Facebook. Facebook is actually, believe it or not, I don't know why that's so big. I don't love that. So Facebook is, let's use this one. We'll go back to Post-its. Facebook is a channel that is great for advertising to people who don't know you exist, might need your service in the future. TikTok is a good one. What kind of social media in general, right? What brings these people in common? What brings these strategies in common? This is brand awareness. This is basically letting people know you exist and what you do, and it's usually where the majority of your dollars will go in sort of any strategy. This one, people who need your service, probably doing Google and aren't looking for you. You're probably doing Google ads. And the people who are looking for you, they're specifically looking for your website. So we call this Google organic. This is literally just, do you come up when people are searching for you? So fairly kind of simple breakdown, but I think this kind of group is one, and Google organic will stretch over to this too. And I'll explain why in a second. Oh my gosh, so much scrolling. Okay. So like Google organic is what we call branded Google. So this is like when people search for your business in particular. So like let's do this search bar. So this is going to be when people are searching for your business name. That's going to be what we call Google organic. So an example of that is going to be like XYZ dry cleaner. That's how you know somebody's searching for your business. They put your brand into it, right? The next one is Google paid / Google organic. Google, we'll call this Google branded. This is going to be your category. So the searches here will be more along the lines of dry cleaners near me, or let's say dry cleaners, city name, etc. And then you have kind of this, let's just kind of put a pause there. Both of these categories, one is people who are already, I would say already your customer, right? So not so hard to get those people because they're specifically looking for you. They're trying to give you their money. So that already exists. That's an audience for you. Now the Google Ads Organic, this is a decent chunk. People who need your service but aren't looking for you. There's a large volume of customers here. And it's a lot larger than the people who already know that you exist, because there's a lot of people who use the services that you offer that don't work with you. And the proof of that is how many competitors you have. If you have like 50 competitors in your market or 20 competitors in your market that are all roughly the same size as you or maybe bigger than you, it just lets you know there's that much more demand for your services that just isn't using your business. And why aren't they using your business? They probably don't know you exist, right? So they're not looking for you. Or you have a bad reputation, which is a kind of a different problem. But let's focus on the primary reason, which is they don't know you exist. So that is where kind of being discoverable on Google pays dividends. And I think there's a big bifurcation in between these two strategies. Let's put a little dotted line here. Maybe like a little almost like iron curtain or something. There is a big bifurcation between these strategies because all of the people here are like downhill. They're actively looking for your service and they need it in the current moment they're looking. So if you connect with these people, the transaction will happen more or less instantly within the context of your business. Now, if you're doing advertising to people who don't know you exist and might need your service in the future, that's a little bit more expensive. And the only exception to this is lead gen ads, which, we'll put those over here. Lead gen ads. Those are going to be over here too. Those are great. But yeah, people who don't know you exist and might need your service in the future, this is where like all the social media posting and stuff gets you to. I think this is cool if you're like a restaurant or something where you have a very, very visual service that people want to, consume on their phones. But from an overall perspective, this is where your money's going, and it's not an easy customer to convert because they don't need you right now. So I think like something fundamental that if you own a local business that you should think about is, first of all, let's just not focus over here, right? Let's turn that gray. This is a section of your business that is very, very easy to lose money on and just not a great focus area until you're like huge, until you're like multiple locations, until you're like in a really sophisticated place. And when that makes sense to do, you'll know it because these strategies on the left side of this line will stop getting you more results. You'll hit some sort of plateau point where you're like, okay, I think I've kind of hit the mark where this is gonna cap out. Your business should be operating pretty well, pretty effectively. It should be pretty profitable. I'm sure at this point your processes are pretty set in how you fulfill your service, how you take in clients. Once all of that is built, then you go into this bucket. And I think this is just like the number one mistake people make is they just think you're supposed to go to social media first. No, don't do that. It's just not a great way to market or build. But the area that you should really be thinking about is this: people who need your service but aren't looking for you, new customer acquisition. Because these people who are looking for you, provided you do a good job with your service, they're going to become ambassadors for you as well. So this audience is already finding you. If they're looking for your specific company name in Google, there's really not a lot more that you have to do to get them to find out about you. But when it comes to finding this audience of people who need your service but aren't looking for you, it really comes down to what are they doing when they're on Google, or when they're like when they're going through their buying process of choosing the right, service provider for them, for whatever your service is. Where are they searching to identify that? And some folks, this could be like a platform like Thumbtack, for example. Thumbtack is like a really cool platform that people will use if they need to book like a construction person or like a handyman or a plumber or different tools like that. So There's softwares like that where you can set up a listing, you can pay to advertise and get leads in. That kind of falls into lead gen ads. That's like a whole category of advertising. The other way to do it is to be creating articles that show up when people are searching for these. So for example, what if somebody is searching for like how to get a stain out of my clothes, out of my wool sweater? Well, the thing about Google that's interesting is that they are actually going to be targeting this person with local results. So if you're local, you have a local business, let's say we're talking about, Phoenix, Arizona. If you're in Phoenix, Arizona, and someone in Phoenix searches for this, how to get a stain out of my wool sweater, let's say you have an article on your blog that says, here's the best way to get stains out of a wool sweater. And it explains how to do that, and it also lets people know that you exist. That article is actually going to bring in clients to you because it's going to get served up to the people near you who are looking for this type of information. What that does is it builds trust, it builds brand awareness, it gets them to know about who you are, and now that person who searched for that article just moved from this category to this category. So then when they're looking, they'll specifically look for you for the service, but before they were somebody who needed your service but wasn't looking for you. That makes sense. So that's a little bit of the breakdown of like some of the psychology of how you bring clients in your business. That I think feels like a pretty good stopping point for this video. But really the goal here is to get this knowledge out to the small business owners of America so you can do really well. We want you to make money, we want you to succeed, and we want you to create great service businesses that make people's lives better. So if you have questions on this, do reach out. We will just happily chat with you and help you think about, what's going on with your business, what's working, what's not working, and then just point you in the right direction. Like that's the goal here is just to make positive impact. So hopefully this is helpful information, and that's all I got today. Thank you very much, and I will see you later.